Hello. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Elias Munshya, and I am coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta, at the Munshya Law Offices here in Canada, in Calgary, Alberta. I'm going to let you share. I'm going to let you share this link with as many people as possible. Just like you and me, we have been waiting very patiently for some news to drop in Lusaka, and it has taken so long. Tuanaka ukulolela. So we can't just wait until someone makes an announcement of their future. So please share this link with as many people as possible. Please do not forget to like our page and to invite others to like the page as well. TV Bakwetu is here for you, and we hope we bring to you discussions. Sometimes they don't feel like they're discussions. Anyway, we bring to you some exciting things, all right? I'm going to be joined by two great gentlemen today. And so it's going to be a great discussion that you shouldn't miss at all. Invite as many people as possible. The first one is Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, and then we are also going to be joined by Dr. Jones Kasonso at a later stage. Now, this is free for all discussion. It's not that we have given any of the discussants anything to say. No. They are going to be saying what they think, what they feel, and we can also disagree with each other as we discuss, all right? So I'm going to bring on Mr. Norman Chipakupaku right here, and then we are going to get started. If you have any questions, please just post them, and then we are going to see that our guests, they answer these questions without fear or favor. Now, my guest is Mr. Norman Chipakupaku. I will ask him a few questions so that he introduces himself to the audience. Very important. Because and then you are going to say, why should TV Bakwetu have a guest about that we shive? So, and then, Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, please introduce yourself. Who are you?
Well, Bakwetu, my full names are Norman Chipakupaku, as you have said. I'm a former soldier, a former member of Central Committee in UNIP. I call myself a business specialist. I specialize in international marketing, and I'm also a consultant at the Cooperative College in the UK. Basically, I'm a Zambian, but based in Scotland. But my background is former soldier.
You told me a little bit, because when you were a soldier, you lived in Chipata, I think. So tell me a little bit about that experience, because I also lived in Chipata as a child. Tell me a little bit. How long did you live in Chipata?
I was posted to Chipata to open Gonda Barracks in 1972. I don't know how old you were, Elias.
Inshallah.
I know. I don't want to embarrass you. I promise I will not. I went to Chipata in 1972.
No, let me answer that. 1972, I was still in heaven.
Thank God.
Okay, carry on.
So I went to Chipata in 1972. I traveled for 2 days because from Lusaka to Chipata there was no road, there was no tarmac road to open Gonda Barracks. Right. I was a very young boy then. I was about 16 when I joined the army. I joined the army in 1971. My first posting was to Gonda Barracks. But I rose through the ranks until I became a political director at the regional headquarters, which is just behind Hillside School, where your parents' house was.
Right. You see, what I remember from Hillside was, so there was a school, Hillside, And behind, they were teachers, almost like teachers' quarters that were attached to the school. I haven't been back in a long time, but I understand there's been several changes at Hillside. But right behind there, that's where we used to live. But I wonder how we fit into those quarters, because it was not just my parents. There were several other teachers living there.
Yeah. The Hillside School and those quarters were just, I could see them from my office window at the member of Central Committee's office, because I was at regional headquarters before I retired. And your parents' home or the school, the houses at Hillside, I could see them from my window, at my office window. But Chipata has changed. I go back to Chipata every 2 years. Chipata has changed very much. Where your parents' home was, there's now the OP. I think it was built many years ago. And the school has been expanded and many other things.
No. So when that OP thing was being built at Hillside, we were still in those quarters. Yeah. So we were one of those boys who were playing around that area as they were building that Office of the President red brick. Are there any people in Chipata following this discussion here?
Well, I'll share my page, because a lot of people follow me from Eastern Province. A lot of people from Chipata and Eastern Province follow me.
Oh, okay. That will be good. Are you Murivela Chipata Namshan?
No, I'm from Mumbwa. I'm from Mumbwa, and but I grew up in Chipata. A lot of people think I'm from Chipata, but I grew up in Chipata. I speak all the Eastern Province languages, and I have a lot of respect for the people of Chipata because they're hardworking people. I grew up in Chipata, and I am what I am today because of Chipata.
Yeah, thank you. That's great history. Now, you have such a rich history. I think that we can benefit from, all of us. Fuevali Kumulu in heaven in 1972. We were in heaven, and then God said Kabie Pachalo, and then we were born. But there are several other people who were born at a later stage. You know. And so I think we have a lot of things to learn from you. And so this is very exciting. So when did you go to Scotland?
I came to Scotland about 25 years ago. Before that, I was in the States briefly. I was in Minnesota for some time, in Land O'Lakes, in St. Paul's. But I been here for almost 25 years now.
All right. Okay.
I resigned from UNIP just during those arrests, and then I left.
All right. Now, it appears like your volume has gone low. Am I the only one who is noticing that? Something changed with your volume.
You are mute, Elias.
Am I muted?
I'm not sure what has happened to the line, but you are mute.
Okay, so you can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
So they're saying it's you.
What I'll do is I will log out and try and join back.
No, I think now it's okay. No. Now I think it's okay. Now it's okay. So today, can you hear me, Bachpapok? Can you hear me? All right. So it's you. Maybe log back in. Okay, log back in. Let me. All right. So Mr. Chipapok is going to join back in. Now, this is very exciting because I didn't know him. He doesn't know, but we were at the same time. So we were children in Chipata, and he was in MCC, something like that under your name. This is very exciting. All right, this is very exciting. Anyway, you are back.
This technology is difficult. I'm back.
Okay. Now, today we were all expecting some wonderful news. Okay, today we were expecting some news, in the sense that yesterday Dr. Chimba Kambwili went on Facebook, and then he said that he had this amazing announcement to make the following day. Have you been waiting for that announcement?
Well, I've been really looking forward to CK, Mwaicho and CK's announcement, because I think he has surprised a lot of people, including his own vice president. Because I was watching my dear Lozi wife, Saboyi, today. She addressed the press and she was very confused. I'm sorry to say it, but she was very left. It looks like they didn't consult her. So yes, I was expecting CK's statement, but I don't know what's happening. In my view, I think he's still negotiating his reunion terms. No, but he came at midnight. Remember, his announcement the previous day was very close to midnight Zambian time. For us, we were okay. So do you think that he could have made that announcement at midnight without having dealt with the terms? That's what I take from the way the vice president reacted. Savoy, my good friend Savoy, she's my cousin, so I can say anything I want because she's my traditional wife, traditional cousin. So from the way she was reacting, I could tell that she probably didn't consult her. I don't think he did. He must have shocked her, but let's give him some benefit of doubt. He can still announce his decision before midnight tonight. That would be interesting.
Oh, before midnight, to make sure that it fits in.
Midnight the Zambian time. You still have said, look, today is still today.
Okay, no, but Paco, I need to be I need to let you know that I'm an interested party as far as NDC issues are concerned.
Well, I welcome your interest, but I should also let you know and the audience know that I'm an interested party in UPND. So I think I declare my interest there.
So why can't we just form an alliance then? As NDC, I'm NDC, you are UPND. Let's form an alliance. What went wrong?
Alas, I don't know which part of NDC you belong to. So if you belong to
there was only one NDC. No. If because
so what went wrong is that I think UPND has 56, 58 MPs, and NDC has one MP, actually half an MP, because that MP was provided for, half of it was contributed by UPND.
No. Okay. Continue. Let's hear what you have to say.
So if you are going into sharing or agreeing terms, and then you with half an MP, you are demanding that you get 50% of the shares of, I think it doesn't make sense. So I think, to be very honest with you, my young man, CK, wanted to be greedy. And so it didn't work out. I'm sorry, I might have used the wrong term, but that is what I think happened.
Okay, so then I think, can we then just ignore them? Let's ignore HH, let's ignore CK, and you and me, we can form an alliance.
You grew up in Chipata. We can form an alliance any minute, Munshya, you know that.
What are we going to call it? Because that was the next issue. What are we going to call it? You see?
No, we can't call it Mpezeni United because they will think we are from that's Eastern Province. I think let's call it something else. It cannot be NDC, UPND, NDC, whatever it is. It cannot be. It cannot be Chwempala Chipata United because they will accuse us. So let's get a name. Let's find a good name.
Okay, I think we're going to let as many people help us with finding a name, because I understand that the name was a big deal.
Big deal.
You are one of those who brought, I think, confusion. Panto, you did not want to share the name. Mwalandira, it would just be UPND Alliance.
Yes, we did that because if you get into the field and see what I've seen in Zambia and talk to the provinces, the way I talk to the provinces every day, there's no way that you could. I'm a marketing specialist. It's like Coca-Cola, and a drink called Pepsi, saying let's share the brand name, and then what do you call it? You call it Coca-Cola Pepsi. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I think it was going to make a lot of sense to maintain the name and then share the parliamentary seats, share all the councillors and the mayors and so forth, and then probably share some seats in the cabinet as well.
Now, from your wisdom, long extended wisdom, because you were a soldier when I was still in heaven, you became a soldier. Number, we've heard that a lot of things used to happen during the UNIP days. And one of the things is what happened in 1990 when Honorable Kavindele wanted to challenge Kaunda. Now, I'm told it was very, very interesting what happened.
I was at that central committee. I was at that general conference. I attended that general conference.
So why now? This is the question I have about why can't UPND do the same as far as this dispute in Lusaka is concerned, where Ms. Nawakwi has gone all ballistic on Hakainde Hichilema. Can there be something like that, the unique treatment?
Fortunately, they can't be that by air treatment which UNIP had, because yeah, and the other thing is that for me, I think I must be very, very careful what I say here, because I was in the UNIP Central Committee when privatization was happening, so I know a lot of things which a lot of young people don't know about privatization. And what I can tell you is that what Nawakwi is saying about privatization is complete nonsense, because there were a lot of people involved in privatization, and it was a decision of the MMD government. Now,
do you think she's that? Because what she's saying now, not only about privatization, but she's saying that it's Hichilema who did all this evil during privatization. What do you think?
Edith, I call her Edith because that's what I used to call her when she was minister. Edith has, I think she's got a problem she has a problem in her head. I don't want to use strong words, but I think she has a problem. HH was involved in privatization, yes. Why? Through his company. But the decision to privatize all the assets, I was member of Central Committee when that process started. I was chairman of agriculture and cooperatives. I had a lot of meetings with Ronald Penza. I had a lot of meetings with the former minister of the Kasonso, the finance minister. I had a lot of meetings with Guy Scott, trying to advise them how to tackle, because privatization started with UNIP. It didn't start with MMD. We were actually being forced by the World Bank and IMF to privatize.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
So
was it part of the IMF conditions of 1983 and 1986 and 1988?
Yes, it was part of the IMF World Bank conditions. The actual structural adjustment program started before we lost the elections in 1991.
Okay, interesting. So, all right. So now I think we have a lot. I think from the way people are listening to you right now, they want you, they like everything that you are saying. Now, what do you think about Edith Nawakwi? HH? What should we do about it? In any quarter suggestion?
For me, I've said
vakaemusenda HH nokutwalira vaedith Nawakwi kachero chero pakati vaedith Nawakwi vakachitenda nkwe ife varefu wayo kuchita pantu. It's embarrassing. What do you think about that suggestion?
I heard you say that the other day, and I just said to the women in UPND, I think Munshya's suggestion is a good suggestion. And if Edith Nawakwi was a man, I was going to say, I'm a gloves once, and let's hit it out. But unfortunately, she's a lady. We can't do that. But it's a good suggestion. My only worry is that I don't trust Edith. She could end up spraying him with poison.
Oh, okay. It's that serious?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I feel. That hatred, that level of hatred, is very, very dangerous in a human being.
What do you think?
I don't believe in witchcraft. So, but they will not do it. It won't happen.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to bring in Dr. Kasonso. Dr. Kasonso.
Yes, sir. We are with
General Namipera, title yabu General. Because
that's what they call me in UPND. They call me General, so that's fine.
General Dr. Kasonso, first of all, tell us, who are you? Because we can't have you speaking on this TV and people don't know who you are. So General Chipakupaku introduced himself.
Hapo naambia kujisa introduce. Okay. My name is Jones Kayamba Kasonso. I was born in Ndola. I grew up in Zambian and back in Ndola again. In my early days, I straddled my profession between being a pastor and being an accountant. And in my adult life, I do a lot of things. I write, I teach in the university as a professor, and I have lived in the United States the last 16 years. I write books, and then I'm an epistemologist and a dialectician in the sense that I participate in constructive discourse with people on different topics. I am also a global accountant. I am licensed as a CPA here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And my PhD is in accounting as well. So I do also research. And I'm in private practice here in Washington, D.C. And I teach part-time these days, but I hope to go back to full-time teaching in the fall.
Now, I heard you say...
I love Zambia a lot. Yes.
No, I heard you say that you participate in constructive dialogue. But, Pano, we are not very constructive, as you can see. So, to a station. So where were you in 1972? Where were you in 1972? This is a very important question.
In 1972, I was in heaven. So please don't take me that far.
You see, Kanshi, you are talking to people who were in heaven in 1972. You must be very lucky and privileged.
I'm a very, very privileged person. I always tell Zambians, including those who insult me on Facebook, I always tell them to say, young Zambians, I know more than you do. And to me, it's a privilege that I was there in 1977 when the mine collapsed in Mfulira. I was in Mfulira that time. Gosh. I left Mfulira in 1971 to go to the army and then went to Chipata. So I'm very, very lucky and I'm privileged to have seen all these things happen. I was in Mfulira. I was in Mfulira when Kapwepwe came to campaign.
When Kapwepwe came to campaign?
Yes. There's some background noise. I think Kasonso, your microphone or something is having a background noise.
Okay.
Turasunga kona vana vanshiwa so rimvare tuma mafoni atutumia madollars
Kasonso, you say that you are in America. So first of all, in a conversation is so unfair because all of us here are diaspora Zambians. So Kasonso mufuremu wasanga ko someone in Zambia so that they can join us on the next discussion.
Okay.
Because it appears like this is very unfair. How can in Canada, Scotland, now Commonwealth of Virginia, we are the only ones who are talking here. So we need to find different people here. Number one, Kasonso, there is a suggestion here of how to resolve the Nawakwi HH saga. Do you agree with our solution?
First, it's a pleasure to interact with you. Na mafunde no kusalakata no kweva kwa vantu afya kusana. So it's an honor and a pleasure to chat with you. Na mwene vakwetu na tumitashe for you to evolve with this platform to the point where na vekala chalo kumwezi kuzamba vale kutikako na mubomba sana na mchana bwino twatotera mote pakuleka apa shifo. Nomba uwafe wa bana wakwi. If you how we have to take a look at it, it's obviously she's a participant in our political discourse, and I like what Mr. Chipakupaku did to talk about how he knows her personally, but we also have to be interested in her public life, how she has conducted her politics. The most when I watched her tantrums this past week, not on privatization. On privatization, I regarded that as an incompetent conversation that was not worth a comment. But when she spoke this past week, I was reminded of her former boss. Once Ms. Nawakwi had left the government, and then she pinged her boss. The late Dr. Frederick, may he so rest in peace. And she started insulting him publicly.
Okay.
And then he stood at a rally and he said the words, "Wishemwe bantu besu, mwalibonako namayo. Aya imina pakala ngati. Rokwisa lumba. Shitata atichati chakwe. Awe nishi achimulota."
Okay.
That's what her former boss said. That is what her former boss said. So we have to be very careful not to turn the tantrums of Edith Nawakwi into national political stories. That is her personality. That is how she communicates. And even her former boss lamented and cried foul from the way she picks personal fights within the political conversation.
Right.
So the best thing to do to Ms. Nawakwi is to ignore her. The country has more serious problems. The country has more serious problems. As a person who was running the purse, who was running the money of the country, I expect her to be somewhere closer to my line as a financial expert, because as a financial expert, Zambia today is a disaster.
Complete mess.
You know, the current government has failed in all the 8 important metrics financial performance of the government in the last 10 years.
Your point here, we ignore her in Nakana. We ignore her. No. You know why, Dr. Kasonso?
Yes.
It's because what she's saying is actually negatively affecting someone. At Muikata, when going to do nominations, President Wabachi Pakupaku in UPND.
That will not happen. That will not happen. That will not happen. Let me tell the Zambian people. That will not happen.
President Wabachi Pakupaku bamuikata po emikushinga. Ichomwila atunja nemitima. Nangu bamuikate, nangu bamuipaye, echishinga tachifwa. You know, Ulia president paku kwishuko da kwalesa na wala iminina. Na bantu bakasala. Pantu mu Zambia mwalipo empalume Kenneth Kaunda 27 years na chikatafe chidrive tachirerekerako. Na chikata chikaunda 27 years but abantu bali imine. Nabapina bakankala abashanuko everybody stood up and corrected normally. So
as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think even was one of those who rose up against the UNIP regime.
Munshya, I was there in 1989, 90 when things started turning sour.
Yeah,
I was one of those young men who was very open with KK. I was very, very honest with Dr. Kaunda.
Yeah,
I was one of those young men who said, let's change Article 4 of the Constitution and turn it into a multi-party. Let's go for elections.
all right.
I was one of those who were there when we lost elections.
Yeah. Okay.
I understand the tantrums of Edith Nawakwi. And for me, what Dr. Kasonso is saying is to ignore Edith. But the fact is Edith has certain personal issues. I don't want to discuss I don't want to discuss personal issues. And I've always said, like you, Munshya, if there was anything at the university which she was intending to do, she lost it.
Okay. Number, we all have personal issues. Should we regard it as personal? Pantu, I don't understand. Anyway, I think so. Should we get Dr. Kasonso's advice or what we ignore Edith Nawakwi? Exactly.
Let's ignore Edith Nawakwi, whether she likes it or not. HH is standing on the 12th of August. If they try and arrest HH when he's filing, I'm sorry, they will be asking for problems.
Yeah.
And as a former soldier, I don't want Zambia to reach that stage. Let me say this, Munshya. In 1994, I was working for USAID in Uganda when the whole problem of Rwanda came.
Okay.
So I've seen things. During the war with Rhodesia, Mozambique, Angola, and South Africa, I saw horrible things.
So
let's maintain our peace. So they should not try anything funny which will raise problems in our country.
Okay. I think that's very
yes.
Quiza.
Yes, I fought the Rhodesian War. I fought the Angola War. I fought the Zimbabwean War. I fought. I should wear my medals, I think, in public.
I think you should do that. No, but like Kasonso, yesterday we've been waiting in Zambia. We've been waiting for the statement from Dr. CK, statement at Stakudi. Anyway, Bachpaku thinks that the statement is going to come out around midnight. What do you think? Do you think a statement is coming out? Yeah, Kambwili.
Na statement ya Kambwili, although it is highly anticipated, it is not going to be anything to surprise anybody.
No.
So for that reason alone.
No. How do you know?
Bushemwali besho bachimba Kambwili. Bachimba Kambwili na balungu. Bonse babiri. Bali nibachola boy baba sata.
What was the question, Doctor? At Bushenali Beshiba. Ayenila dentu.
Mwali besho bachimba Kambwili. Bachimba Kambwili na balungu. Bali nibachola boy baba sata. Bali bachola boy baba sata. Bali abantu bali shibana sana. Ero bali abantu bali katana sana. Kuti baisa pakala pachintu wingi uyale paniko uyale tukoyu. People should not take the former whatever Chimba Kambwili was saying in the public against the president as serious. Those are the boys from the same class of Michael Sata politics. And, they may have had differences here and there because there wasn't equitable distribution of power among them when they felt that, truthfully, if you look at the first election, President Lungu, ground soldier, field soldier wabo, aren't Chimba Kambwili. There would be no Edgar Lungu presidents today without Chimba Kambwili.
Okay.
And for that reason alone, you have to operate on two principles. The first principle is to recognize the circumstances of difference. And the second one is the ethos. If you look at the circumstances of difference are such that CK has been squeezed by the government enterprise. But if you follow the ethos will tell you that those are birds that have slept in one net for many years. When Chimba Kambwili says Lungu is a thief, Chimba Kambwili is also a thief. When Chimba Kambwili says Edgar Lungu doesn't know where to take the country, Chimba Kambwili also doesn't know where to take the country, because they are birds from the same nest.
So kanchi nikira balanda ati uenda nangoshe no kumubea
That's a fact. Kaunda used to say all birds flock together and also stink together. So the truth is, CK, when he accepted his fake election 2 weeks ago as the president, remember what he said? I accept being president of PF.
Yeah.
CK is going to PF. It's known.
And
I totally agree. I totally agree with Dr. Kasonso.
Tomorrow we are going to come back and discuss. And so, but I'm not going to let you speculate. Dr. Kasonso, speculation. Let's wait for him. Not him be starting another part, or he's retiring from active politics for good.
Let's not speculate. But I can say 85% chances are that he's going back to PF. And I can tell you one other thing, Elias and your viewers, that he's negotiating for a position, because we know. Let me tell you, your audience, the truth. We know that there is a clique which used to be called Luapula United, which is now Northern United, trying to band together. So that's a fact. We know that.
Okay, so where will Chimba Kambwili fit into the Luapula United? Because how is he going to fit in?
Well, that's their puzzle to solve, because they've got too many of them trying to go for the position of presidents. The truth is the shift of this power, between the two big sorry, I have to be honest here. The North thinks they've got the right to rule, which is complete nonsense.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say this. I didn't want to say this, Elias. We were told by a certain chief that some of us who come from Umbwa are minorities, so we have no right to rule. And I call that nonsense.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. Inendi wakulu wapula. No mbefe mwananda wachipakupaku fiamano. I agree. Okay, but we are one Zambia, one nation. And if we are one Zambia, one nation, everyone, afiroku tuwanga. Kasonso.
Exactly.
Afiroku tuwanga. Akamona ushuku kale tuwanga. It's their Zambia.
Yeah.
Chipata. It's their Zambia.
Yeah.
Abalozi, Abatonga, Luvales, Chokwes, Kaondes,
Solis, everybody, we're all equal.
One country. No, but they one country. Kanofieifwe. Awe. Vakasonso.
Mwachilanda paka to speculate. I grew up in my mother's village. My mother's village is in Samfya, and my father's village is in Solwezi. So I am a son of both regions. So I am the true one Zambia. In Samfya, they taught us.
Let me correct that.
In Samfya.
As long as your mother is Samfya, mulibena Samfya.
Okay. Kusamfya bali tukundia ati ichi kwanka bachimwena kumampalanya. Yeah, but, the direct translation would be something like something that inspires your safety, you can see if others have appropriated that safety from that thing. But the meaning is that you can see, you can learn something by observation. So you can, by observing the trend and the behavior of people and the conduct over time, we are able to predict human behavior. Okay. When you say that, when we say that there is a group in the PF which are the Northerners and the Rapulans, and PF, the Patriotic Front, is a northern party. Is a northern party, and the founder was from the northern part of Zambia. So the Patriotic Front, So, but if you look at all of them put together, there is nobody who has spent his life creating the Edgar Lungu presidency more than Chishimba Kambwili.
Oh, okay.
And for that reason alone, with all these apologies flying and all those kind of things, don't underestimate the extent to which his incorporation might actually be much easier than we can see.
Okay.
His incorporation is much easier.
We'll come back because we must come back after we see his next step. We must come back. I can see several comments, but so I'm just going to be highlighting some of the comments as we go. Now, you're mentioning how the Patriotic Front is a northern party, but when I look at the UPND, most of the members of the National Management Committee of the UPND itself is also member, mostly northern. How do you square that, Bachipakupaku?
Well, I participated.
So UPND and PF, they are both member, because in the UPND, I have a list.
Well, I am a Democrat. I believe in democracy.
Yeah.
I participated in that General Assembly which elected the National Management Committee of UPND. I voted. People stood.
Yeah.
We had votes counted, real votes counted.
Right.
So if Patrick Mchereka won, if our vice president won, a clear vote, I have no problem with that.
Right.
What I don't like is to say a tribe has got the right to vote. Let me give you the historical perspective of where all this is coming from. All this is coming from 1967, when there was a huge problem in UNIP.
Okay.
And the North and the South worked together against the East. You know, that's why there was the Umozi Kumawa story. Then came the story of Kapwepwe himself.
Yeah.
Who didn't want Kaunda to be president? Because Kaunda, according to Elias Munshya and Kapwepwe, comes from Malawi. So they wanted to be the president.
No.
Okay.
No.
No. Let me tell Zambians the truth. So then comes Chiluba. Chiluba was trying to.
Bachipakupaku, before you proceed, therefore, to make it very clear, I'll go at Mulembe Pesha.
I withdraw that, Musha. I withdraw that, Musha. But the truth is, Kapwepwe said, even in 1990, Sata, may his soul rest in peace, stood up and say Kaunda doesn't. I was there when Kaunda was almost being deported to Malawi.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
I was there. I was there when Kaunda was being deported, almost being deported to Malawi. So this is a historical story of the North versus everybody else. It's not new.
Yeah.
The problem is that let's teach our children to say we're one Zambia, one nation. Like in my case, my family has got people from the North, from the South, from the East, from the West. You know, this is a dangerous thing we're trying to do.
Right. First of all, the issue I found regarding the Kaunda thing and happy 97th birthday was that in 1972, or even during the time of independence, as Zambians, with including Kaunda. Instead of being truthful about the situation, a person can be a Zambian and a Malawan and it's okay. You brought a law, you can only be a citizen of one country. And then people started lying and deceiving. The whole reason why Kaunda did not lie was because the story was very clear from the story of Lubwa Mission. Otherwise, most Nyasalanders, they just came over and they said that and it ended there. So what we needed was the truth. And what is the truth? A person can be full Zambian and yet be full Malawan. And it's okay with that. Kasonso, what do you think?
I think I agree with you about citizenship. Citizenship, when it comes to Zambia, and particularly the boundaries, the borders around Zambia and other African countries, those were very artificial. They have no relationship to the indigenous.
No, if they were artificial, why didn't the independence leaders recognize that fact? That you can only be a citizen of one country and one country alone.
Well, can I try and handle that?
Yeah, please.
Well, when we got independence, I think historically in 1844, that's when this split of these countries happened. And these boundaries were artificial. If you go to Chipata, you can't see the difference between the people from Chinji and people from Stephen Peasant's village. There's no difference.
No.
Yeah.
And so in 1964, when the so-called independence took place, a lot of people who had Nyasaland background in the Eastern Province were Zambians. We know them. Mm-hmm. A lot of people in the north were from Congo, were Zambians. They were Zambians.
Which people were from Which people were from Congo?
We know them, including Kafupi himself. Okay, but he was a Zambian. So the issue of trying to raise the issue of Kaunda's nationality in 1991 to me didn't make any sense. It really didn't make any sense because I know the history of Kaunda. His parents came from Nyasaland. They were Church of Scotland missionaries. The man was born in Zambia.
Yeah.
Independence found him in Zambia. Yeah. So anybody found who was in Zambia before 1964 is a Zambian.
No, the problem was that Abena Kaunda and their group, when they were defining citizenship, they needed to be truthful to the people of Zambia. You can still be a Malawan and yet you are a Zambia full time. The problem was that pure definition of a Zambian. That was a problem.
Yeah, but that time you are a lawyer, Munshya. There was no provision in our constitution of dual citizenship that time. That's why most of the Nyasalanders and the Congolese just decided they were going to be Zambia because it was nice.
Why are you adding the Congolese?
Because I must balance up. Even in Western province, a lot of people from Angola.
Kasonso,
here's the point that I was trying to make. So I was trying to approach it from the moral standpoint.
Yeah.
Based on our tribal groupings.
Yeah.
These boundaries that came Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, this area were very artificial. Mm-hmm. If you see most people on the eastern line, have families across. Into the Malawi. And most families there in the Luapula regions and the Solwezi areas, they've always found family lineage across the Zairean border.
Yeah.
So, because of that, the whole thing of saying you can only be a citizen of one country and the country is this Zambia, they were done on short-term political interests. Mm. They did not look into the heritage of the people. They did not look into the long-term impact on the country. And that was, I believe it was wrong. But according to the law, that is the way it should be. We have so many of those type of funky laws in Zambia where they just put sentiments together. For example, right now there's been a confusion over the
dual citizenship,
running the country, standing twice and holding office. All those little confusions have been thrown in the law. All those little sentiments have been thrown in the law to preserve some short-term political interests. So what we have are shallow-minded politicians who can't see beyond their nose. And those are some of the things that we as a new generation of Zambians and reasonable people must work to correct for the benefit of our country in the long term.
No. So Munshya, the story of Kaunda, I was involved. I know. Even going to Mkoweko when he was locked up in Mkoweko, I was there. And to me, I think one of the things which made me feel mad was to see Sata stand up and say Kaunda is a hero. When in 1991 he insulted him, when in 1996 he locked us, I was one of those who was rounded up. So I found that very, very difficult. During Black Mamba, for him to turn around and say this man is a hero. I remember them trying to go and search at Panji Kaunda's farm to say there were arms there. I went with Panji and said, "Wait, there are no arms here, Mr. Sata." So I think it's this generation, you guys. Let's build a united Zambia. Let's remember that we are one Zambia, one nation. Let's forget the tantrums of people like Edith. Let's forget the Luapula United and Northern United. Let's give the best person to run Zambia, whoever it is. For me, I don't care whether it's from North, whether from South, whether it's from Central. If he is the best or she's the best person, that should be the person leading Zambia. Because at the moment, we are in a mess. The country, look, I fought very hard in Scotland to have Zambia's debt cancelled. Kaunda borrowed $7 billion in 27 years. These guys have borrowed $27 billion in 10 years. That's a disaster.
That's a Kasonso. Alain.
Okay.
Alain.
The biggest enemies, I believe this, and this is probably going to be controversial. The biggest enemies to the one Zambia, one nation concept are the Bemba-speaking politicians. What the Bemba-speaking politicians do is what we call here in American politics a dog whistle. A dog whistle is where ulesokesha abantu over an issue. What you are saying is something different, but what you're also doing is something different. Let me give you an example. Recently, there was a by-election in Chiluvi where Professor Nkanduluo went to campaign, and the message from the campaign is for the people of that area who speak a version of Bemba to stand up against Abatonga. And then when they come, and then when they come when they come up against and speak in the newspapers, they are attributing tribalism to the other groups. Now, this is how it works. It is not speculation, but this is a proven technique. This is how it works. When you look at the population of Zambia, if you go to the demographics, the people who speak Bemba are the largest proportion of the single group of Zambians. And the people who speak, so for the people who speak Bemba, what they have to do is simply go and speak Bemba in their villages, which straddle 3 provinces and a half, including the Copper Belt. So what happens is when they are accusing the other people of tribalism, it is a code. They are actually asking their people to vote according to their tribe because the other group is a tribalist group. So that accusation is used to stimulate tribalism amongst the Bemba-speaking people. When they accuse the people from the Sunset provinces or the Zambezi provinces of tribalism, it is not that those people are any tribal than Bembas. Everybody in the country, whether in Zambia, in politics, in Zambia, in America, every one of us has some form of tribalism, because tribes are extended families. Tribes are just extended families. So the first thing you do when you're going to stand as a politician is to appeal to your family or your extended family to support you.
No,
but when we bring in the concept of one Zambia, it means that we must broaden the appeal to many families, regions, and many tribes. So the biggest people who benefit from the tribalism and tribal talk is the Bemba-speaking politicians, because from their groups, if they just go purely on tribe, and in a country where our democracy is majoritarian, they are always going to put in a Bemba-favored politician as a leader. So when you hear tribal talk on the podium, you hear tribal talk in our politics, you hear regions are being accused of that, what they are doing is a reverse call. They are generating tribal politics and tribal votes from their own people. They are trying to govern and perpetuate their stay in power, or propping up their preferred candidate. So if their preferred candidate, for example, is Edgar Lungu, they're trying to prop up their people to vote purely on tribe, not on the failure on the money, not on the failure in the economy, not on the progress the country has failed to make in the last 10 years. That's what they're doing. So we have to be able to call them out when they begin the tribal talk, because that tribal talk is just purely intended to influence the majoritarian aspects of the elections and generate support from their villages. That's it.
That's exactly what
is that the reason why? Is that the reason why they're teaching my people in Kabwe Bemba then?
Because no, they're not teaching people. They're not teaching anybody their Bemba. No. And the other half also, they also have to be careful. The other half has to also be careful. They are not teaching people Bemba. No, Bemba is just a fluid language. Anybody can learn it. For example, it took me a short period. It can take somebody a shorter period of time to learn the Bemba language than some of our languages on the Zambezi side. That is just the way it is.
Okay. No.
I know people who are from the Zambezi provinces who have lived in Bemba regions, and they've caught up the language. They speak it easily. But I also know some people who have lived in those areas who still cannot put coherent sentences in the other language. Some people find some languages easier to learn, but it is not an intentional strategy to teach other people their language so that they can influence them. No, that's not the way it is.
There will be enough time to everybody likes your discussions. Now, here is the scenario. 12 August. Main candidates who are standing not to wish, but there are two. Who would you be recommending?
I think I am biased. So I am very, very biased. I am biased because I am a member of UPND. And I know, let's go from the 2016, 2015, 2016 elections.
Yeah.
The difference was only about 13,000 votes. And if you look at the actual votes versus the votes which were announced, like the Dundumwezi, all these, not Dundumwezi, but all these Lundazi results which were announced from nowhere. If you come to the actual vote, as far as I'm concerned,
please.
The truth, well, my take is that HH will win, but he will lose a lot. He will struggle to get votes from the north.
Okay, so 12 August, you are recommending that HH should be elected.
He is a better candidate. He's the best candidate. He has learned a lot.
12 August.
Yes, I do.
Dr. Kasonso, 12 August.
12 August, balungu ngabake minina. Balungu ngabake minina 12 August, balungu nga bakebina pa 12 August ine kuti nalomba kokwe bati abantu bakaloleshe pali 10 years yaba PF.
Okay.
Ine pamo as a global accountant na Professor Wansamushi balungu buteko bwabo bwalipona monse muma aspects ya kulondolera kwendalama muka tuwesha pakatunja patukese elondolola chose balipona nomba omuntu mwebo shuwa apona fiance ero nomba atwalire nomba chalo cha msango shane chakwati bulebika bali abaferuike abapone ne abene nabafirwe nchito ebo batwalire
Musha the whole Zambian
economy.
So
anybody but balungu balungu balipona kale muri fiona ma fundamentals ya economy ukule yenda lama ukuisa ikalo ba Kongola balungu kufire kwaba bili abapona balungu ero tukachi ivuwe Zambian Samushi forensic accounting tukayechita audit ukwaye ama bakongwele ukwayenda lama bakongwele ego tukafunye ndalama shakulipira enkongwele nokulubule chalo so ine tuningalanda vechakwe bati pa 12 August kubi okufunya hapo balungu tubike pa umbi.
We know where they got the money from. We know it's from China. We know it's the Eurobonds. And we know that 80% of that money is in their pockets. We know that.
Okay. If flyover bridges
they're all overinflated. They are all overinflated. Everything, all the roads, all the airports are overinflated. Everything they've built in the last 10 years inflated. Let me give you one example, Musha, is fertilizer. Fertilizer is basically a cash cow for PF.
Okay.
The same thing will happening with energy. Who's importing Zambia's oil?
Right.
You should ask yourself.
I think Kapanomba to Furetwaya.
I know.
Kasonso tukabwera pakawati mukalole. Kasonso tukabwera pakawati mukalo bantu namukumya
tuweshe tuise tulondolode.
Yeah, but are there any questions from people, Munshya? Are there any questions? Because I can't read them from here.
Naturally, to pose some of the questions. Number, I think what we'll do is next time, if you are let's give CK a chance. Panga press conference over the weekend. Monday and Tuesday we'll come back because everybody wants you on TV.
Well, I'm happy.
Become TV Chipako and TV Kasonso. Everyone in them because in Shimon.
No, I'm happy to contribute. I'm happy to contribute very much because a lot of people actually don't know that I've helped train a lot of managers in Zambia. My university has trained the MBAs in Zambia. The 3 general managers of Barclays Bank, not Barclays Bank, Zambian banks are students from our university. A lot of people insult me. Some of the young people insult me and say, "What are you doing for Zambia?" We are contributing. So I'm very happy to contribute.
And thank you for your contribution. Actually, when they vaccine, otherwise and in fact the numbers, even people watching, are going higher. But Kuba careful. We shouldn't be too excited.
I know.
Next week, we will be back here with Dr. Kasonso and General Chipakupaku because he did the awamisha sana. Number can first in vaccine. Have you been vaccinated by General?
Yes, I got my first vaccine and I'm just waiting for the second one. And I would encourage Zambians who have got the chance to take their vaccines because it's serious. Just look at what is happening in India.
It's terrible. Dr. Kasonso.
I'm scheduled to get vaccinated next week, this coming week.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. We are going to end here. Now to Chirapo Kale by 4 minutes. But thank you very much for joining me. General, all the best there in Scotland. Dr. Kasonso, thank you very much and all the best in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much. Actually, right now, I am chatting 10 minutes away from the White House. I'm right in the District of Columbia.
Also, Eku State House.
White House.
Eku State House. Kuna mupepe ife kula kuno kanyoto kula kuno kwa baka nishenda lama. Isha bakankara na babu supano sambale chalo.
Come on. Ngame bachipa
Kasonso, thank you so much. It's good. I've been following you as well. I know what you've been doing. Good job you've been doing.
Yeah.
I think the best thing we can do is to speak out for Zambia, point out the problems, but also find the solutions. For me, it's not a matter of criticizing; it's finding the solutions, and we know the solutions.
All right.
That's what we can tell the Zambians. We are not criticizing Lungu, Mr. Lungu, President Lungu, General, whatever they call him. We want to try and correct the situation for the sake of our children and for our grandchildren.
I criticize him. No,
what I'm saying is that Munshya, when we criticize them, we are not criticizing for the sake of it. Because a lot of me, I get emails a lot, inboxes a lot. Why are you criticizing this man? The truth is that he has failed. All the indicators, all the economic indicators are south, going south. Okay. Everything is not working. So at this rate, we cannot continue for another 5 years. Then we will be worse than Zimbabwe.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Kasonso, and then go to last. General Chipakpako has said, to my last words.
Yeah. What I can say first, I want to thank you for the opportunity to appear on TV Bakwetu and to communicate my ideas and share, your passion, Navachipakupaku, Fikorefiesu, and also just your consistency and your tenacity on the show. But the last thing I can say is, from the beginning, never lungu nalikene. Nechona kani never nandi bonse bari shiva. Abadi muina seko bari shona kanini. And I have been consistent in one thing, that President Lungu did not have the capacity or pedigree to drive this ship, this sunken ship called Zambia, to a prosperous future. Babula modernization. Ero baita ku Zambia to development. Ngawesa kule chukula chanyu. Echo baita ati development. But development teifyo. Development bantu ukuta build the product ya kushia bafusanga mu bukumu. Machito na bantu kwikaika labu na bantu ngabale kwata shirenda lama. Esho nombo buteko bola yapo kapo bwakule misebo bwakula na maskulu. But baya kongola kaloba elio nomba babike babundishe chalo. Ichalo chali firo kutamit budget yachiko. Ichalo chilefiro kutamit ama obligations to creditors from abroad. And Ichalo, it's literally a bankrupt bandit state right now, because the strategies were wrong, the mindset were wrong, and their advisors were also wrong. So when we come next time, we are going to explicate and make it very clear that the future of we can do better as Zambians. But it's
not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
I don't think to Arare can allow me to remove up because okay, bye-bye. Thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Kasonso. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today on TV Bakwetu. We had Dr. Kasonso and General Chipakpako. One is in Scotland, another one is in Virginia or Washington. Thank you for joining us. Please share with as many people as possible. Invite people to subscribe on YouTube to Elias Munshya and also like our page. For now, I'm rushing off to go and receive my AstraZeneca jab to fight COVID. Thank you very much for joining me here. God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you.